Vayetze Yaakov Me'er Shava Vayelech Charana. And Yaakov left Beersheba and went to Charana. So Rashi, quoting from Chazal, asked the famous question, why is the Torah telling me Vayetze Yaakov Beersheba? We already learned last week's parasha. We know where Yaakov was leaving. It should have said Vayelech Yaakov Charana. Why is it important to know where Yaakov came from? So there's a famous Beis Halevi that points out to teach us how meticulous Yaakov was in kivud of aim, in honoring his parents. We're familiar with Chazal to talk about the one of the few good midos Esav had was kivud of aim, how he treated his father and put on special garments. But as well, Yaakov as well was very meticulous in kivud of aim, and that's why the Torah singles it out. Why does the Torah single it out? Because when Esav found out that Yaakov had got the brachas, so Esav was steaming. He said he was going to kill Yaakov. So Rivka told Yaakov, you better get out of here. I don't care where you go. Not that I don't care where you go, but the main thing is to get out of Beersheba. And therefore, and go find a nice hiding, find your own Arei Miklat, find your own hiding place. And Yitzchak told Yaakov to go back to the hometown to go find a wife, to go back to Haran. As the Drashas Aram pointed out, why was Abraham so insistent that Eliezer find a wife for Yitzchak from his hometown? Why not Eretz Canaan? Hello of the Avodah Zarah, the hello of the Avodah Zarah. They both worshipped idols. So what's the difference? So the answer is because in Haran they had good midos. In Canaan they were of the Avodah Zarah, but they had bad midos. And as Rabbi Salanta used to say, it's harder to change one bad midah, one bad characteristic trait, than it is to go through the whole shas. Not because going through shas is easy, but that's how hard it is to change a bad midah. And therefore Yitzchak wanted Yaakov to find a wife as well in Haran. So therefore, that's what the Beis Halevi says. Vayetze Yaakov Beersheba, in fulfillment of listening to his mother, leaving Beersheba. Vayelech Harana, in fulfillment of listening to her father, she went to Haran. That's what the Beis Halevi learns. However, there's another Rashi on the same point. Why is it Benjamin Vayetze Yaakov Beersheba? So Rashi quotes the famous Chazal, Yitziyat Tzadek min hamakam osa rosham. That when a tzaddik, when a righteous person leaves a community, it makes an imprint. In other words, I might think that big deal, so what, Yaakov left. But when a tzaddik leaves, Beersheba is not the same Beersheba. Your city is not the same city. And in fact, there's a famous Avnei Shoham. The Avnei Shoham point out, and we'll discuss the Klei Yakar in a minute, that why did Rashi wake up here and quote the Chazal? Avram and Yitzchak traveled a lot, and Rashi never quoted the Chazal, Yitziyat Tzadek min hamakam osa roshem. So why over here by Yaakov is the first time we see it? The Avnei Shoham point out because when it comes to Avram and Yitzchak, but particularly Abraham, and Yitzchak followed in his ways as well, Avram was an ish chesed. He was a man of chesed, hachnosis orchim, bikar cholim. He set up hospitals, visiting the sick, chevra kadishas. Avram was the man in the town. He took care of everything. So it's obvious when someone who's running the whole town, all the physical facilities, the banks, the hospitals, the food, when he leaves town, the town's in trouble. You're going to feel the impact immediately. There's no need to state anything. But Yaakov was ish tam yoshev ohalim. What was he? He was just learning all day. So what's the big deal if he leaves town? And that's what Rashi comes to tell me, the metaphysical power of Torah, its impact on the town. I don't mean a yeshiva kollel that's involved with the community, But even when hypothetically it was just in the community, no one even knew it existed, the tremendous impact it has on the community itself. The Yitzhak Tzaddik min hamakam ose rosham. And that's what I think Rabbi Chana Wasserman points out, that's what, by the Malach attacked Yaakov, because it's true, Avram represented Chesed, Yitzchak represented Tefillah Kvura, but Yaakov represents Torah. And the Yitzhak knows, as long as you could be doing Chesed all day, you could be davening all day. But if you don't have Torah, it's not going to last. And therefore, that's why the Malach attacked Yaakov, which represents Torah, because he knew that's the hardest, that's the battle he has to fight in order to win. So either way, that's the Avnei Shoam, that it's obvious the other Avos, because they were community people, especially Avraham. But Yaakov, he was sitting and learning, so therefore I might think there was minimum to no impact when he left. And then we have the Klei Yakar, who offers two explanations. So the first pshat the Klei Yakar says is, it's true. When Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov left, when Avraham and Yitzchak left, it's also Yitzia Sadek min hamakam ose rosham. It applied to Avraham, Yitzchak as well as Yaakov. So the shaila is, so then, how come the Rashi doesn't write it? He says, because when Avraham and Yitzchak went, they didn't just go as loners, they took their families, they took their Talmidim, they took their students, they took their followers, and therefore, there was no one, their followers were no longer there. So of course, their absence so of course, since they took, when you have a yeshiva leaving town, so of course their absence is felt, because there's a big void. However, and therefore it's obvious, since they took everybody, but we know when Yaakov left, Rivka and Yitzchak, other tzaddikim are still around, so you might think, big deal, Yaakov's leaving. We still have other tzaddikim in the town. But that's what Chazal are telling us, the extraordinary koach of Yaakov, that even though there are other tzaddikim left, he was still missed. So the chiddush is that but of course Avram and Yitzchak were missed because because they took everyone with them, and there was no yeshivas, no rabbis left, so the community is going to feel it. But when Yaakov leaving, he still left Yitzchak and Rivka around, and that's the first pshat in the Klei Yakar, that Yaakov's impact was extraordinary, even though there are other tzaddikim around. And that's a question we all have to ask ourselves. If any one of us would leave town tomorrow or next week, would anyone notice we are missing? Anyone notice we are gone? If the answer is yes, then we should be proud of our accomplishments. If the answer is no, it's not too late. We could all do things for any community, no matter how dynamic the community is. And unfortunately, there are always sorrows coming up, whether it's hurricanes and other things. There's always communal work that people could do. And therefore, we should strive to be like Yaakov, Yitzia Tzaddik min hamakam ose rosham. You don't have to be a tzaddik to make a rosham. You could also be a good person and do a lot of good things. That's the first part of the Klei Yakar. In spite of the fact, even though Rivka and Yitzchak were left behind, he still left a tremendous impact. And the Klei Yakar's second shot is just the opposite. Because Yitzchak and Rivka, Avram and Yitzchak, you know why they weren't felt? Because they took all the students with them, all the people who were spiritually in touch with spirituality. There's no one left to appreciate it. If Vilna Gaon was around today, who would appreciate him? Maybe a couple of people. But that's why Moshe Rabbeinu could make it into Eretz Yisrael, because they said that the Klal Yisrael weren't appreciating Moshe Rabbeinu anymore. It's a two-way street. You have to have the ability to make an impact, but you have to have people who are ready to receive it as well. And therefore, really, Abraham and Yitzchak, it wasn't so significant because there was no one left behind. But by Yaakov, he left behind Yitzchak and Rivka, so there was still a spiritual element, and therefore they really felt the loss of Yaakov Avinu. And therefore, we see that it's not enough just to have a tzaddik, have good people in the town, but they also have to leave over people who appreciate the tzidkis. And in fact, that's why most times in life, when do people appreciate someone? After they leave town. Oh, I can't believe how much this person did. I mean, unfortunately, many times it's not until after they pass away. And at a funeral, wow, this person did all of this. The eulogy, I mean, it's good that the kids should know even before. A lot of times you hear, the kids are hearing the first time about their parents, what they have done. I mean, it's okay, you don't have to go around telling your kids everything, but they should at least be aware that you're involved in chesed, and etc. So therefore, unfortunately, a lot of times we hear it a eulogy, but if not, when people leave town, the trick is to appreciate them while they're still in town. And that's the two messages here we get from the Kli Yakar, that on one hand we should strive to be like Yaakov Avinu, that we should, if we left town, we should be missed, and if not, we should be involved in community affairs to help the community. And as well as we have to value the people around us, and don't wait until after they pass on, or don't wait until they leave town. And that's the pshat. That's this type of sense of loss we have to feel. Vayetzi Yaakov and Beersheva, Yitzia Tzadak min hamakam osaroshem. We have to feel the loss of a tzaddik from our town, just like Vayetzi Yaakov and Beersheva. Beersheva wasn't the same town again after Yaakov Avinu left.